Spitball time.
Okay.
We'll just get straight into it. You can go first as always.
Yeah, done. I can't go back here, can I?
You can go wherever you want.
I just don't want to. I mean, I know what I'd aim for. It's probably a bit of a cheat.
There's a lot to aim for. Just
close
your eyes and.
It's a whole stack of Spielberg. All right, I'll go over here.
One of our viewers was very pleased to see the soggy Spitball return.
Yes, indeed. All right, let's do this. I'm going to go up the top, right at the top, right, because
see if I can catch it.
I feel like that's uncharted terrain. We ready?
Do it.
All right. I think I threw it in the gap. Well, let's do that again. Hang on. All right, good luck. Did it hit anything? Nah. All right, sorry. That was me being overzealous. All right.
Mate, that's like a swish.
Yeah, sorry about that. Some wet toilet paper.
I'm going to have to fish that out later.
Yeah, I think so. All right, we ready?
Yep.
All right, I'll give it the left. It hit. I went over the top again, but it hit Dr. Plonk.
What are you doing to me?
Dr. Plonk.
Yeah, Dr. Plonk. Okay.
Give me an education.
Excellent. Australian film, Rolf de Heer. Do you know Rolf de Heer? It's the guy that made Bad Boy Bubby.
I know Bad Boy Bubby.
10 Canoes, The Tracker.
Yes.
In fact, he was the guy that got Matthew Holmes' Twin Rivers off the ground.
Wow.
Very, very important Aussie filmmaker in the Indigenous scene. He's not Indigenous himself, but he makes those sort of films. Dr. Plonk is fantastic. It's a silent film. Made to look like those 1920s Buster Keaton style films.
Wow.
So the frame rate is sped up.
Yep.
It's Magda Szubanski. And it's about a scientist that time travels to modern times. And there's like this whole storyline, but there's no dialogue whatsoever. There's those title cards, the dialogue cards and all that kind of stuff. And it is a real throwback. It's genuinely slapstick and funny.
What was it made?
This would have been about... I don't know the exact... I'll flash it on the screen. I think it was like 2006.
Oh, so reasonably recent.
Yeah, and just a wonderful film.
Okay.
What else? I mean, Rolf de Heer is my favourite Australian filmmaker.
Wow.
So I'm glad you landed on that.
Yeah, we hit a good one.
Yeah. He made a great film with Richard Dreyfuss and Hugo Weaving called The Man Who Read Love Stories.
I've heard of that.
Yeah. So good.
Richard Dreyfuss, what an actor.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, Buster Keaton. Amazing. They're the best stunts ever. His work, if you've never seen a Buster Keaton film, do it. It's staggering.
The forced perspectives.
Yeah, a genius.
Yeah.
Legitimate genius. He was almost like a second fiddle to Chaplin.
I put him above Chaplin.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat.
I think that's the case to be made.
Where's his biopic?
That's right.
We've had Laurel and Hardy. We've had bloody, Chaplin.
Robert Downey, pull your head out, son, and make a film about Buster. What's that film, The General?
Who would play Buster Keaton?
Far out. That's a good question.
Steve Coogan could do it.
Coogan could do it. That's a good call.
It's got that shape. We're recording?
Yeah, we're recording, mate.
Ooh, what do I do every week? I don't actually land on movies. I land on the thing in between.
You hit Hulk.
Good.
Hulk, the Ang Lee Hulk.
One of the few people in the world that actually loves this film.
You like this one, don't you?
When it comes to superhero films, this is where I'm at.
So is this the Eric Bana one or the Edward Norton?
Eric Bana. So this was before MCU.
2001.
The Norton one is where MCU was started to come into play.
Yes.
But Ang Lee directed this, and it's a superhero comic book in the truest sense. Like the edits are all comic books. So when it goes from one scene, it's like flipping a page, or the comic book sort of star comes at the screen, and it's just wonderful. Eric Bana, he was really on top of his game then.
He was like the new white hope of Australia for Hollywood stars, wasn't he? And then something happened.
No, what happened was he was homesick. He wanted to live here.
He came home.
He didn't want to live in LA.
Because he had that, then he had Munich, and he was on that trajectory, wasn't he?
He still goes back to Hollywood, does quite a few good things.
I think he's a brilliant actor.
I do too.
He's amazing.
But yeah, Hulk is great. Nick Nolte's good in it.
Nick Nolte.
I think the special effects are great.
Yeah.
The whole nuclear energy stuff is really fascinating.
Yeah, okay.
I just think it's an interesting and well-made comic book movie, and I think it's far superior to the one with Edward Norton, which was The Incredible Hulk.
Norton. Yeah. I haven't seen that.
Hulk is the one character they've never really been able to sustain. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an unusual character, very iconic, but I don't know if it has the pull. It is, correct me if I'm wrong, is that the Norton one, is that the first Marvel MCU film? Or is it Iron Man?
Iron Man.
Iron Man
I
was.
think that was the second.
Second, okay.
Yes.
This is the thing, and this is what was great about Spider-Man and everything, is that those films are like, they're unique events. So there's something special, they're exciting now because they're just dime a dozen. They're just mundane. Beige. Are we going again?
Yeah, of course.
I feel like my ambition...
Hang on, which direction?
Well, I was going to go up here just to try and get some new terrain.
Go for the Blu-rays.
My ambition hopefully doesn't exceed my ability. All right.
Do it.
Oh, sorry, mate. It hit... Oh, I know where it hit, but I don't know. I think it hit... Do you know what? I think it... I'm not saying this just because I want to talk about it, but I think it hit the Deer Hunter.
Excellent. Well.
The Deer Hunter.
Would you like to take it away?
I would. 78 classic. You and I are both in agreement about the best Vietnam War film, but we used to have some fun banter about the Deer Hunter versus Apocalypse Now. Sensational movie, isn't it? It's a great film. I think I watched it about a year ago, maybe when we were bantering about it. When Apocalypse Now Final Cut was in the cinema, and we saw that, which was amazing. I think I rewatched Deer Hunter just to see the comparison.
Yep.
Obviously, Apocalypse is better, but A Deer Hunter is a phenomenal film. I didn't realise it actually owes a lot to The Godfather, that first hour, the whole wedding. But the performances in that film, staggering. And the scenes, the ending of that film is got to be one of the all-time great endings with Walken, when he goes back to get him. And it's just heartbreaking. Walken is amazing in that film.
I do think that, I agree, Apocalypse Now is the better film, but I think if either of them is sort of have, the PTSD stuff, right, is far stronger in Deer Hunter. The gut punch of the trauma of Deer Hunter is far stronger than...
I think you're right. Which is and that's the point of the Deer Hunter, isn't it? To show the effect on the boys, the average American, whereas, Apocalypse Now is not really a realistic depiction, is it?
No.
It's more of a hallucinogenic masterpiece. You can tell I want to talk about this. But, I agree with you. I think as those war films that are more of a study of the effects of war on the individuals, when they come home, I think it's probably second to none. Meryl Streep, not a massive fan of Meryl. I respect her talent, but she is wonderful in that.
She's sure is.
Brilliant in that. Walken... John Cazale.
Cazale, I was about to say
that. In his last role.
The scenes early on where they're going deer hunting and they pull the car over and he hasn't got his boots.
That's right.
And De Niro loses his shit.
Ah, yeah.
Great scene.
That's a great scene.
It shows the type of character he is.
Really uncomfortable to watch, yeah.
It is. And they drive off on him.
Yeah. I remember, I watched it when I was 12 and, because it's one film and then it suddenly just hits the wall.
Yeah.
And then you're right in the middle of that Russian roulette scene, the infamous scene. And that is one of the most intense scenes ever in cinema.
I think the most brutal scene in the entire film, though, is when you see that family in a little bunker and they just chuck the grenade in.
Oh, yeah. And he's got the flames. Yeah, that's shocking.
Yeah.
It just comes out of nowhere. It's very brief,
yep,
but it's highly impactful.
It is. It's Camino Chimino. It's his best film.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What a character.
Yeah.
What an absolute maniac he was.
Rest of his career pretty much was the riding the coattails of that film.
Well, he ended the new Hollywood era, didn't he, with Days of Heaven's Gate.
Yes.
Because he blew out the budget, made no money, and thus the greatest era of American cinema was over.
Made The Sicilian.
Oh, he did too, yes.
Sun Chaser, I think, was his last one with Woody Harrelson. That was a good one.
Okay.
I'm going behind you.
Yep.
I know where I want it to go. But
I'm just going to... mate.
Oh, we're on Razor Eaters.
I feel like we're on the Ruddles.
No, we're not. We're not. Razor Eaters.
Right.
Now, not many people have heard of this one.
No, I haven't.
I'm glad it landed on there. I know the director of this one. His name's Shannon Young.
Shannon.
Now, his first film before Razor Eaters was almost a student film. He and the two filmmakers he made the first film went to RMIT at the same time I did. In the same course, just 1 year apart.
So Aussie film.
The first film he made was called Stygian,
mm-hmm,
and those other filmmakers were James Wan and Lee Whannell.
Wow.
Who went on to do Saw, Insidious, Conjuring, Aquaman, Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
Razor Eaters was his first film on his own,
mm-hmm,
and it's essentially a romper stomper-esque kind of film.
Mm.
It's the razor gangs on the western suburbs of Melbourne.
Mm-hmm.
There was a true story in Melbourne at the time where they were videotaping their violent crimes, and that's what it is. It's a videotape perspective film.
I see.
Angus Sampson has a bit of a role in there. James Wan designed some of the imagery in there, there's logos and stuff, and so it's got his sort of stamp on it. And flew under the radar. When it got released, Fox picked it up for DVD and ruined it with their cover art. Put really, really bad Photoshop cover art, which was just not appealing whatsoever.
Yeah.
The original theatrical art was very appealing, and had they gone with that, it might have gained more traction.
So when did it come out? Are we talking early 2000s?
Yeah, 2006.
Okay.
Maybe even a bit earlier. Maybe even earlier.
Yeah. Because Saw was 2003.
Shannon is now doing commercial filmmaking. So he does a lot of corporate commercials, making a good career out of that, whilst the other two are off in Hollywood.
Indeed, living at large.
Yeah, but Razor Eaters, I don't know if it's easy to come by or not. Like, I'm glad I own it. I've not really watched it for a long time.
How's that title, man? It's confronting.
Razor Eaters, yeah. I think that was the real name of the gang at the time, Razor Eaters.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's hard lads.
Oh, the interesting backstory of that, there's a set piece in it where they burn a house down to the ground, and you think, well, how on a budget like this, how could they possibly do that?
Yeah.
And they just phoned around to companies that were looking to demolish houses and just said to them, look, can we come in on the day of your demolish and just burn it down?
It's clever. Yeah.
And then the I think the CFA or the MFB, Fire Brigade, got in on the action and says, well, look, we're looking to train our firefighters. We'll put it out for you.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So it all came together very nicely.
Right.
It's a great scene.
Perfect marriage of art and commerce.
All right, next one. I think it's your turn.
All right, let's do this.
Razor Eaters, man.
Razor Eaters.
I'm stoked.
What a title.
Yep.
All right. Okay. I could just go for the stack of Spielberg films, but it's probably a bit of a cop out. All right. I'm gonna go.
Sloppy Jalopy. Do it.
Let's do it.
You put way more care into this than I do. Oh,
Get him to the Greek.
Get him to the Greek.
Yes,
which
I know this.
The sequel to Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yes, it is, which was a surprise hit when it came out, and obviously gave birth to the phenomenon that was Russell Brand.
That was.
Yeah, well, he's done now, isn't he?
He's too philosophical.
Yeah, he's got his YouTube, but he's not. As a film career, I haven't seen him in anything.
Well, the last thing I think I remember him in was the Arthur remake.
Yeah, well, that's right, with Helen. I don't mind Russell Brand.
He's okay. I think he got too big for his own boots.
Yeah.
His opinion was the only one that mattered in the end, and I don't think many people win favours when they're like that.
Katie finished him off. But what do you think of Getting to the Greek? I quite enjoyed that when it came out.
I like it a lot. I like them both.
Yeah.
I like them both.
They go well together. Unusual pairing. Him and Jonah Hill.
It is interesting when, because I think there was another one around about the same time that was a sequel to another film. This is 40?
Yes.
Was a sequel to what? Was it?
Funny People? Wasn't a sequel to Funny People.
Was it 40-Year-Old Virgin?
Probably. It's something like that.
I'll flash it on the screen.
Yeah.
But that was also like a sequel to a film they did 12 years prior or whatever, which just followed the same side characters and gave them a profile.
Yeah.
Yeah, Get Him to the Greek. I haven't got much to say about it other than Judd Apatow, once again, another guy that got too opinionated and I think didn't do himself any favours.
No, he was like that era. He was flying high. He was the man.
Comedy, mate.
Like you had Knocked Up. What do you think of Knocked Up? You like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good film.
I like most Apatow films.
Superbad is one of the greatest comedy films of all time.
I agree.
It is one of the greatest comedy films of all time. I saw that. I was in year 11. Perfect time to see it. I still could watch it today and absolutely roll on the floor laughing. Hilarious film.
Good Boys is the one that's very similar.
Yeah.
Rogan produced and
wrote it.
We're going to have a couple of those kids on our podcast.
Oh, awesome.
Up. Yeah. So
that's great. The boys.
The actual boys.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet. I'm keen.
I think you'll love it. If you love Superbad, this will absolutely tickle you.
Yeah. Superbad is genius.
Yeah. If I run out of Spitball, we'll do one or two.
Well, yeah, we should do one more thing as mine went behind the bookshelf.
All right, last one?
Yeah, last one. Let's see if we can pull something out of a hat.
I have a squeaky chair. All right.
All right,
I think Blu-ray's the way to go.
Yeah, Blu-ray, I'm feeling it, 2020.
All right, Spitball.
It hit Gone with the Wind.
No, it didn't.
No, it did. It did. We don't have to talk about it, but it hit Gone with the Wind. I can see the residue on the cover, mate.
I can too.
Are you going to be true to your...
I will say that the Blu-ray of Gone with the Wind is absolutely gorgeous.
It is.
I watched it recently and
Gone with the Wind.
Yep.
Interesting. I believe if you adjust inflation, it is the highest grossing film of all time, most successful earner, bar none.
Yep.
Cop that, Avengers.
I have a friend. I have a friend overseas I was talking to last week who it's their favourite film.
Yeah.
And it's very rare you meet someone our age and that's their favourite film.
Yeah.
And respect. Awesome.
It's a good film. It actually holds up pretty well. Hey, I mean, there are some things that are dated, but it holds up in the sense that it's captivating, engaging. It's enjoyable. It's a long film, but it moves
moves very fast.
It's zippy. Two directors, famous.
Yeah.
George Cukor, who has obviously made what did he make? He made the Philadelphia Story, like a famous director, and then he got sacked by David O. Selznick, who was like this speedhead
we've mentioned him on the podcast. Yeah,
and then Victor Fleming.
Yep,
punched out Gone with the Wind and The Wizard of Oz in the same year.
Same time.
That's staggering.
He would bounce between sets.
Isn't that amazing?
Incredible.
Two of the most iconic films ever, and he's doing them at the same time.
What's the better film?
Oh, that's a tough question.
For my money, it's Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, I'd probably say Wizard of Oz. Wizard of Oz is probably more artistic.
Its appeal is huge.
Yeah.
Generations and ages.
Yeah. Like, I think both films have held up pretty well, but I'd say Gone with the Wind's more of a museum piece, whereas Wizard of Oz still seems kind of relevant.
And once again, you've landed on... Did you throw that or did I?
You threw that, mate.
Okay, so... once again, we've landed on a movie that has a sequel.
Does it have a sequel?
Yes, and you should know this.
Oh, it's just got Timothy Dalton. I do. Scarlet? Yes. Is that what it's called? I've heard it's diabolical. I would say.
I don't think it's diabolical.
It's not bad?
It's a mini-series. I think it's about 6 hours long. And it's Joanne Wally Kilmer.
Okay.
She was married to Val Kilmer at the time. It's a good story.
Yeah.
It's based on a novel sequel.
Yeah.
I think it's good.
Vivian Leigh, mate.
The problem's the casting because...
Yeah, who plays the Vivian character, do you know?
Yeah, it was Joanne Wally Kilmer.
Sorry, I was still thinking of Timothy. Oh, let's go.
Anyway, Gone with the Wind. No, it's good. It's it's great.
I think if you rag on Gone with the Wind, you've got no class.
The earliest scenes when Rhett comes into the scene and Scarlett's still a snooty, bitchy mole. They are some of the best moments in the film for me.
Yeah. I think the first half, which is the half that George Cukor directed, is the stronger half.
First film to swear.
Ah, yes.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
There you go.
And that caused a lot of controversy.
Yeah, wow.
It wasn't, the slavery shit. It was the damn.
He's amazing. He was amazing. Vivian Leigh, she's an amazing actress. She was a cooked unit.
Stunning.
She looks amazing. Very appealing mise en scène. But I know that she was married to Olivier, and she just gave him a heck of a time. I actually felt sorry for the great man.
That's why he hit the drink.
It's right. She was, man.
I think she hit the drink too.
She had a few issues, shall we say. But sensational actress.
Yeah.
Anyway,
cool.
Gone with the Wind. Good on, yeah.
Well done.
A worthy Hollywood classic.
Good throw, me.
Well done, mate.